The Oak Island excavation site had been quiet that morning, with everything appearing perfectly normal. Machines hummed softly, and the team began routine scans, expecting the usual soil layers and standard readings. By midday, the area seemed ordinary, with no hint that history was about to change. Then, as the sun dipped lower, something remarkable happened. A ground scanner picked up a sharp metallic spike at about 65 feet beneath the surface. Every expert froze in disbelief. The initial thought was that it could be an old cavity, but the data suggested something far more significant. The hollow sound recorded at that depth was unmistakable. It was the kind of signal that typically appears when a dense, heavy object rests behind a solid door or barrier. The atmosphere grew tense as the implications began to sink in. This wasn't a random anomaly. This was the first sign of a deliberately hidden chamber, untouched for centuries. The first readings from inside the chamber were shocking. Temperature sensors indicated a sudden drop of 4 degrees Celsius. This wasn't normal for a typical underground cavity. The air was still, trapped for centuries, showing no signs of recent disturbance. The humidity meter reinforced this, revealing dry, stale air. Nothing had entered or exited this space in hundreds of years. The team fell silent, exchanging looks of disbelief and excitement. Rick's face changed completely, and Marty blurted out, "Guys, this isn't natural." A wall scan at the same location revealed a perfect rectangle, straight edges and sharp corners. Impossible for natural formation. The most astonishing part was the density reading from the center of the chamber. It indicated a massive metallic object. According to the sensors, the density measured 7.9 times the normal baseline for common materials, suggesting an extremely heavy, solid metal object was resting there. The significance of these readings was clear. Oak Island might be on the verge of revealing its most profound secret. The ground-penetrating radar had initially shown nothing out of the ordinary. By morning, the layers appeared completely normal. But as the scans scanned deeper, anomalies began to appear at 65 feet. At first, the team assumed it was a software glitch or misreading. Yet as the scans were refined, the shapes became clear. A hollow cavity appeared with perfect symmetry. Every side was straight, every corner precise. Nature simply cannot create such geometric perfection. An AI filter applied to the scans confirmed the readings. The space had been deliberately engineered, not a result of natural processes. This was the first time the crew had seen such a clear, man-made structure at that depth on Oak Island. The revelation was electrifying. Further scans revealed the chamber was compacted with soil around its outer layer, as if sealed intentionally. This pattern is commonly found in ancient sealed tombs, vaults, or sacred storage rooms. The experts' astonishment grew with every reading. The air that escaped carried traces of old dust and organic particles, likely from decaying wooden or fabric items stored inside. The signatures were undeniable. This space was man-made, purposefully sealed, and built to preserve its contents for centuries. The construction of the chamber revealed extraordinary craftsmanship. The first layer was a compressed clay barrier intended to prevent moisture from entering the chamber. Beneath it was a perfectly cut stone layer, smooth and polished, indicating the use of advanced stone-cutting techniques. Tool marks were visible, suggesting that skilled artisans or ancient engineers had carefully built the chamber. Such construction is only seen in high-value storage rooms, sacred relic chambers, or ancient treasure vaults. The combination of clay and stone was designed to maintain a controlled environment, keeping air fresh and items preserved. Experts could not believe the precision of this ancient engineering. The excitement escalated when the team conducted a metallic cluster scan using sonic pulse technology. The results were astonishing. The outer chamber contained not one, but several distinct objects.
The largest was a solid, rectangular mass, likely a chest or container. Next to it lay a cylindrical object, possibly an ancient rod or tool. And finally, a nearly perfect spherical object was detected, suggesting ceremonial or symbolic significance. Each object had been deliberately placed, indicating careful planning. The readings confirmed that the objects were metal, well-preserved, and heavy. This discovery transformed the excavation from routine exploration to a historic revelation. An endoscope camera was used to visually inspect the chamber without disturbing the contents. As the camera descended, the team witnessed the three objects in their original positions. The rectangular chest gleamed faintly, its edges sharp and precise. The cylindrical object lay parallel, while the spherical object reflected light differently, hinting at unique composition. The arrangement was deliberate, and no movement of soil or dust had occurred for centuries. It was a perfectly preserved scene, frozen in time. Rick whispered, "These aren't random objects. Someone placed them here deliberately." Marty nodded, his face a mix of awe and disbelief. The AI-generated 3D model revealed even more. The outer chamber was just an entrance. A deeper shadow behind it suggested another hidden room. A narrow, smooth shaft extended downward from the outer chamber, a passage deliberately built. Sonic pulse readings from the bottom revealed a metallic object larger than any in the outer chamber. The outer chamber was only the gatekeeper. The real treasure, the primary object of centuries-old secrecy, lay hidden below. Multi-chamber engineering, glowing carvings, and massive metallic echoes all confirmed that Oak Island held a secret far greater than previously imagined. Even the locking mechanism impressed the team. The inner walls contained grooves consistent with ancient stone locks. Multiple levels of depth suggested a sophisticated system, possibly designed to protect high-value contents. Experts speculated that the chamber had been sealed with multiple layers of security: clay, stone, and a mechanical bar system. The craftsmanship, geometry, and scale indicated that only a highly organized group could have constructed it. Potential builders included Templars, early explorers, or another ancient society with advanced knowledge of engineering and preservation. With the chamber partially opened and initial inspections complete, the atmosphere was tense. The officials' presence on site, ordering the halting of cameras and drills, added an air of secrecy and urgency. The crew realized that this was no ordinary archaeological discovery. The officials' behavior suggested that the objects inside were not just historically important, but possibly capable of altering perceptions of history or knowledge of Oak Island's past. Despite the official orders, the crew conducted a discreet night inspection using minimal lighting, flashlights, and portable microphones. During this night operation, a metallic clang confirmed the presence of a solid object. Dust and ancient air escaped through the microhole, revealing the chamber had been untouched for centuries. Endoscope footage captured the three distinct shapes, and analysis confirmed their preservation, placement, and metal composition. The chamber was not just a room, it was a vault, built to protect objects of extreme significance. Every tool mark, groove, and spatial arrangement indicated deliberate, sophisticated planning. The multi-layered chamber, precise engineering, and heavy metallic contents confirmed the extraordinary nature of the find. As the team carefully observed the endoscope footage, the reality of what they had uncovered began to settle in. This chamber was unlike anything previously discovered on Oak Island. Every measurement, every reading, every sensor confirmed that this was not a random construction, but a carefully designed vault. The rectangular chest in the center remained the focal point, and it was impossible to ignore the precision with which it had been positioned. The cylinder and spherical objects beside it seemed deliberately arranged, suggesting a ritualistic or highly intentional purpose. Marty whispered softly, "This isn't just treasure. This is history frozen in time." The team could feel the weight of the discovery pressing down on them, not physically, but in the knowledge that they were seeing something untouched for centuries, deliberately hidden from the world. The outer chamber's walls revealed more secrets as the lights from the flashlights danced over the
Carved grooves. These grooves weren't just decorative. Their placement, depth, and alignment suggested a locking mechanism far more advanced than anything the team had previously seen. Each groove interlocked with another, forming a complex system designed to prevent tampering. Rick examined the structure closely, his eyes narrowing in concentration. "Whoever built this knew exactly what they were doing," he said quietly. Every member of the team understood that they were not dealing with ordinary construction. The builders were experts, possibly a group that had access to specialized knowledge lost to time. Further inspection of the floor revealed an unexpected detail. Unlike natural ground, the floor was perfectly smooth and level, suggesting it had been constructed as a platform to support the heavy metallic chest. The flatness was so precise that modern engineers would struggle to replicate it without advanced tools. This wasn't a crude pit or a hastily dug vault. It was carefully planned, engineered, and executed. The air inside remained icy cold, the humidity remained low, and dust particles floated slowly in the dim light. All of this reinforced the idea that the chamber had been sealed with extraordinary care and purpose. The metallic cluster scans were repeated multiple times, each confirming the initial findings. The central rectangular object produced the strongest readings, indicating it was solid metal. The cylindrical object produced a slightly different signature, suggesting a different type of metal or possibly a composite material. The spherical object's signature was almost perfect, reflecting a density consistent with high-purity metal. Each object's placement suggested deliberate spacing, and the alignment with the chamber's walls indicated careful planning. These weren't random artifacts thrown together. This was a structured arrangement designed to preserve and protect each item for centuries. The AI 3D model of the chamber offered further insight. It revealed that the outer chamber was only an entryway, a gateway to a larger hidden structure below. A narrow passage descended from the floor of the outer chamber, its walls smooth and uniform. This passage did not appear on earlier scans, suggesting that the builders had designed a multi-layered defense to protect what lay beneath. Sonic pulse readings from the bottom of the shaft confirmed the presence of a metallic object far larger than any in the outer chamber. The outer vault was simply a protective layer, guarding the main treasure or relic beneath. The team realized that Oak Island's biggest secret was not just a chest, but a complex, multi-chambered vault with treasures of unknown significance. Even the officials who had arrived earlier at the site seemed unusually concerned. They ordered cameras to be turned off and halted further drilling or scanning. Their actions implied that the objects inside the chamber were not only valuable, but possibly dangerous, sensitive, or historically significant. Despite the official restrictions, the team continued to analyze the data from the sensors and endoscope footage. Every reading reinforced the reality that they were standing on the edge of a discovery that could rewrite parts of Oak Island's history. As the team discussed the findings, historical speculation began to grow.
Such a chamber? The construction techniques, precise geometry, and metal objects suggested a highly organized and skilled group. Some speculated that the Templars could be involved, given Oak Island's long association with legends of hidden treasure and secret societies. Others suggested early European explorers, or even unknown ancient civilizations, might have had the knowledge to create such a structure. The team had no definitive answers, but every piece of evidence pointed to a level of sophistication that surpassed ordinary settlers or pirates. The rectangular chest remained the centerpiece of attention. Its size, density, and placement suggested that it could hold significant artifacts, possibly rare metals or documents of immense historical importance. The cylindrical object beside it was unlike anything the team had seen. Its shape suggested a ceremonial function, or perhaps a specialized tool. The spherical object, nearly perfect in form, might be symbolic or contain a hidden mechanism. Every new observation raised more questions than answers, deepening the mystery of Oak Island. During the night inspection, the team noticed the faint glow of the carvings on the chamber's walls. These symbols were unlike ordinary decorative carvings. Triangles, circles, and cross-like shapes appeared repeatedly, hinting at a language or code used by the builders. Some patterns resembled known symbols from medieval Europe, but others were entirely unique. The glowing effect suggested the use of a special metal or mineral, perhaps to guide or indicate the position of the objects inside. Every detail indicated a deliberate attempt to protect, preserve, and encode information about the chamber's contents. As the hours passed, the team worked carefully, documenting every reading and detail without disturbing the chamber. Each movement, each touch, had to be deliberate. The outer chamber was stable, but any sudden shift could potentially disturb the inner shaft or the objects within. The tension was palpable. Every member understood the historical weight of their discovery. The icy air, the precise stonework, the interlocking grooves, and the metallic readings all combined to confirm that this was a deliberate, centuries-old vault, designed with extraordinary skill. By morning, the team had completed detailed scans and models of the chamber. The AI 3D reconstruction showed the outer chamber as a gateway, with the inner shaft leading to a larger, hidden space. Every object was in perfect alignment, and the multi-layered construction suggested careful planning and engineering. The outer clay and stone layers had maintained an airtight seal, preserving air, temperature, and humidity for hundreds of years. Experts on the team confirmed that such preservation is rare and usually reserved for sacred relics, royal treasures, or objects of extreme value.
Complex chamber design all reinforced the idea that this was not an ordinary archaeological find. The objects could hold historical significance far beyond mere treasure. The rectangular chest might contain documents, artifacts, or medals from a lost civilization or secret society. The cylinder could be a ceremonial object, a tool, or even a symbolic relic. The spherical object suggested advanced craftsmanship and high-quality material, possibly used for ceremonial or scientific purposes. Every detail indicated that Oak Island had concealed an important secret for centuries. As the team prepared for the next step, the tension at the site became almost unbearable. Every crew member knew that what lay beneath the outer chamber could change everything about Oak Island's history. They had already seen proof of careful planning, precision engineering, and high-value metallic objects. The outer chamber had only been the beginning. The real treasure, or at least the most significant discovery, awaited further down the narrow passage revealed by the AI model. Rick and Marty discussed the plan in hushed voices, emphasizing extreme caution. Every tool, every sensor, every movement had to be controlled to avoid damaging the ancient structure or its contents. The descent into the inner shaft was slow and deliberate. Flashlights illuminated the smooth stone walls, showing clear marks of chiseling and polishing. The shaft narrowed slightly as it went deeper, guiding the team toward what appeared to be the core of the vault. Dust floated in the thin beam of light, disturbed only by the careful movements of the crew. A thin, cold mist hung in the air, proof that the chamber had remained sealed for centuries. No airflow had disturbed the temperature, and the humidity remained at historic low levels. The team could almost feel the weight of the past pressing around them. Once the endoscope reached the bottom of the shaft, the readings became even astonishing. The metallic echoes were stronger than those in the outer chamber, indicating a much larger object. The shape could not yet be fully discerned, but the density suggested solid metal, possibly forming a chest, container, or even a complex mechanism. The outer chamber's three objects, the rectangular, cylindrical, and spherical pieces, appeared small compared to whatever lay below. The AI 3D mapping revealed the outline of a massive inner chamber, perfectly rectangular, with
Walls aligned to the passage above. The precision was unlike anything naturally formed, proving beyond doubt that this was the work of a skilled and organized civilization or group. Rick and Marty exchanged looks of disbelief. This is bigger than we ever imagined," Rick whispered. Marty nodded slowly, understanding the enormity of the discovery. The inner chamber's size suggested that the builders had intended to protect something extremely valuable or sacred. Every layer of soil, stone, and clay had been carefully placed to preserve the integrity of the objects inside. The outer chamber had only been a decoy or initial protective layer, guiding the team toward the core without revealing the full magnitude of what lay beneath. Whatever the origin, the chamber's contents were clearly meant to remain hidden, untouched, and preserved for centuries. The team decided to conduct a controlled analysis of the outer chamber's metallic objects before attempting to reach the inner vault. Using high-resolution imaging and scanning devices, they confirmed the rectangular chest's surface was smooth, weathered, and solid. The cylinder appeared to be a staff, rod, or some symbolic tool, while the spherical object resembled a ceremonial or ornamental piece, possibly indicating religious or cultural significance. The objects had lain undisturbed for centuries, their preservation remarkable, hinting at the extraordinary care taken by the builders. Meanwhile, the officials who had arrived the previous day continued to observe from a distance. Their presence added a sense of urgency and gravity to the situation. No one knew if their concern was due to historical value, political sensitivity, or the potential danger posed by the chamber's contents. Rick and Marty carefully noted their instructions and proceeded with utmost caution. Even with advanced equipment and careful planning, the team understood that any misstep could lead to damage or destruction of priceless history. The inner chamber's discovery also raised questions about its purpose. Was it simply a vault for treasure, or did it hold something far more significant, like ancient knowledge, religious artifacts, or documents capable of rewriting history? The organized placement of objects, precise engineering, and evidence of advanced craftsmanship suggested that the chamber was not ordinary storage. Instead, it likely held items of extraordinary importance, deliberately protected by highly skilled builders. As the day progressed, the team continued to document every detail. The outer chamber remained stable, the objects in place, and the sensors provided continuous readings. Each new observation reinforced the notion that Oak Island's hidden chamber was a historically significant site, meticulously preserved and engineered. The combination of metal density, chamber design, glowing symbols, and airtight environment pointed to an advanced knowledge of materials, construction, and preservation techniques, raising the possibility of a lost civilization or secret society with extraordinary skill. By evening, the team was ready to conduct further tests. Small, precise drills were used to take samples from the outer chamber walls, carefully avoiding any disturbance to the central objects. Each sample revealed layers of compact clay and smooth stone, confirming advanced preservation methods. Tool marks indicated that the chamber had been built by experts, not ordinary workers. The combination of natural and man-made materials